All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Let's talk some more NBA. I got some good NBA videos coming up today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love, support. Check out the NBA Talk playlist for more videos like this. And basically what's going on here is the NBA has already established or started to establish a game plan for the 2020-2021 season. All right. It seems like they want to start on December 1st, but they may push it back to see if fans can be allowed in the stadiums. And they already may be considering a second bubble, all right, and a third bubble for the next season. So it sounds like some of the plans may be to do another bubble in Orlando and another bubble in Vegas. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to split up the Eastern Conference teams and the Western Conference teams for a bubble. I'm not sure if they're going to have intermission breaks or whatever the bubble is going to be, because if let's say they start the season in December 1st, right? The season ends sometime in the middle of October. Then the draft is 3 days after that, and then you have November. Really, you have a month and a half to get ready. So that's kind of pushing it. December 1st. And also they canceled the second bubble. Let's talk about that. It was supposed to be a second bubble in Chicago for teams that didn't make it for for summer league games, for teams that needed still to develop players, and it was too long of a layoff to go from March to December without basketball games or whenever the next season start. But they sound like they decided not to go ahead with the bubble for the 8 teams that didn't make the Orlando bubble, so it probably won't be no Chicago bubble. And that was supposed to start sometime in August, so I guess the NBA was like, no, forget that. You're just doing too much. So now there may be a second and third bubble for the 2020-2021 season. If it is a 2020 season, I think it may just be a 21 season. And I'm not sure if they're going to split teams up, as far as half Eastern, half Western in the Las Vegas bubble, half Eastern, half Western in the Orlando bubble. So once again, teams, I don't even know how they can do this, because there really ain't no rest period to get done on December 1st. Because you need training camp, you need preseason. So I'm not sure how they're going to do that, or they just going to do training camp in the bubble. They're going to do 2 weeks of preseason training camp, and then Christmas Day they start the season, something of that nature. Maybe that makes sense, but at the end of the day, we already said if they tried to makeshift this season, which has been a success so far, it's been a better product than I thought. And I told you guys, I don't have no problem saying I was wrong, but there are some challenges about doing the bubble, right? This time they did 8 games in the playoff run. This time you asking people to be away from their family for a very long time and be without women, be without some of the other vices that they do have. Wives, kids, all right, in Orlando and Las Vegas. So I don't know if they're gonna do a lockout thing where they do 62 games, 50 games, or whatever the situation may be, because that's tough to ask somebody to go from, let's say, this January. Let's say they start in January to July. Let's say they do it. That's tough to ask somebody not to need to lead a bubble, this, that, and the third. So it's going to be tough to do a full regular season or a makeshift regular season bubble, then a playoff bubble. So, I mean, they working, they thinking about some things. And, if I had to give my 2 cents to get my opinion on how I would do it, I would just break it down to half the Western Conference, half the Eastern Conference teams in one bubble, and then half of them in another bubble. And then when the All-Star break game, because I know they probably might still want to do All-Star, I would swap it. You know what I'm saying? I would take the Eastern Conference teams from the Orlando bubble and put them with a Western Conference team, and let's say in the Las Vegas bubble, and then the Las Vegas Eastern Conference team, I would put them with the Orlando Western Conference bubble. Let's just say put them in Orlando. So each team would have a nice amount of time to play each and everybody in the bubble. So I think that's how they should do it during intermission. And I probably would say during the All-Star game, if they choose to do a break or whatever, or they still choose to do an All-Star game, or maybe they do an intermission if it still has to be a bubble, I would give them about 2 weeks off. You know what I'm saying? I would give about 14 days off, 16 days off for people to quarantine after the traveling, get their system clear, and kick it with their families, and then come back and test. Maybe 3 weeks off for that. And, so people get a presence of mind, so you won't have so many people leaving the bubble, coming in and out. But quite frankly, it really hinges on the vaccine. And they already said, the NBA is already basically saying, I guess they talking to the the NBA Players Association, the union, is that they not sure, if a vaccine is going to be distributed fast enough to have fans in the stadiums. All right. So that's the thing. So they are willing to wait out, into early 2021 and wait for the season to see if they can have fans there. He said they understand that the vaccine could get done. It's already been on human trials in America. I've seen some people take it so far. So really everything hinges on a vaccine. If they're able to get a vaccine and get enough of it and distribute it, then they're willing to have fans to some capacity, even if it's half capacity. If they don't have a vaccine and they still not having fans in the stadiums, then more than likely they just gonna go ahead and just do another two bubbles. But from what I understand, the NFL it sounds like they going ahead and doing some capacity. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. You can check my Lions channel while just Detroit everything in Michigan football and basketball, Motor City Sports Talk, and some Spartan Talk if you care about that. Who do? But they're doing some capacity in Lambeau Field in Green Bay and Detroit. Lambeau's outdoor. Detroit is a dome thing. So they doing some capacity and they being prepared to do that in September. So obviously face masks will be mandated and stuff of that nature to be in the stadium. But my whole thing about it is this: for the NBA, they should wait it out. You know what I'm saying? But every day they do wait it out, they lose money. You don't want to start a bubble and then you pay all this money for a bubble in Vegas. You pay all this money to keep the bubble the way it's intact it is in Orlando. And then, a vaccine come out and, you able to, other organizations and sports leagues able to have fans. So, it's all about the intel they get from the CDC, from the government and stuff of that nature. So things can change rapidly. They don't know if this vaccine going to work until 2021. That's the whole thing. The vaccine that they are testing with the human trials, they don't know if it's going to work until 2021. Okay? So if that's early 2021, mid 2021, so it's in the NBA's best interest to probably honestly do the bubble, the second bubble, the second and third, second bubble in Orlando, second bubble in Vegas. So I'm not really mad about the situation. I mean, the bubble has been great. I know some guys are probably having some family issues. I know Kendrick Nunn, who's in the Rookie of the Year running, which I'm going to talk about that in a minute. He is actually, leaving the bubble for personal reasons. He also got left out the bubble before because he had corona, all right? But we have to see how it really boiled down for the NBA. But, we ain't really made it through this bubble. All the testing has been clean and clear. So the bubble is going well. It's shown to be effective. I don't know if the NFL is considering to do a bubble. I think they should consider doing a bubble, but it's going to be tough. Their bubble going to have to be humongous. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to get a small town and do a bubble in. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have 3 or 4 games and networks coming in and no fans. So the NFL, that's tough. In baseball, they struggling with a lot of corona tests. NHL, which they've messed up their whole organization after their lockout. But NHL seems not to have a lot of problems. They kind of wear somewhat of a face mask, so be it right here. So maybe that's helping a little bit as well. But baseball is struggling. Whole Marlin team, but obviously the Miami Marlins, it's a pandemic going down in South Beach. Nobody cares about the coronavirus. And, I'm not sure how football is going to make out. All this air travel and, all this type of stuff going through the airport. And, if you fly in the sky, you breathe in the same air with a mask or not. A mask is not as effective with limited air supply as it is with the regular air supply when you're on the ground. So for people traveling, only travel if it's a must. But as far as the second NBA bubble, why not? This bubble has been effective. The players have put on a great show. The NBA really ain't never had no defense in a long time since the Pistons and the Spurs era have been over with. So, in that Boston and Laker era. So, I'm getting the vibes that they trying to give it their best defensively, but the way they call ticky-tack fouls, no hand checking, no getting up on guys. It's hard to play defense, and the NBA wants a high-scoring product, but at some point you still got to be able to let the guys play and be physical. So, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do in 2021. Because the season is trying to start December 1st, or they might start it early 2021 to try to give an opportunity for fans to jump in the stands. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media links in the description. Twitter's the fastest way, then IG, then Facebook. We also have a Facebook group in the description. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App is CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Cash App username there as well too. Do appreciate everybody for checking in. Check out our NBA Talk playlist and let me know what you guys think about the NBA potentially doing a second bubble or second season of a bubble, one in Orlando and possibly one in Vegas. Or they may wait it out to see if a vaccine is effective and distributed, to the masses by early 2021. So the season should start early 2021 at the latest, at the earliest December 1st is their tentative date. So let me know what you guys think. One time for the one time, we gone.